Reece's rescue mission became a trap within a Warlock stronghold. Trinity was bait. The Warlocks sought Reece's power, tied to an ancient bond they shared. The Warlocks aimed to exploit this connection for an unknown purpose. Reece disrupted their ritual, severing the bond to prevent their success. But in doing so, he lost Trinity. What was the nature of their shared power? What was the Warlock's ultimate goal? Is Trinity alive or just a vessel? Who was the masked figure involved? Can Reece find Trinity again after breaking their bond? Reece's vision swam as he clutched his chest, gasping for breath. The pain of severing the bond still echoed through him, leaving behind a hollow, aching void. He could no longer feel Trinity. She was gone. The Warlock's ritual had collapsed, their magic thrown into disarray, but the chamber was still pulsing with unstable energy. The Warlocks screamed, scrambling to salvage what they could, but the damage had already been done. Juniper reached Reece first, dropping to her knees beside him. "Reece, stay with me." His breath was ragged. I can't feel her." Elias, still weakened from the magical chains, forced himself to stand. "We need to move, now. The entire structure is falling apart." Vincent wiped blood from his face, his grip on his sword tightening. "Then let's make sure they don't follow." But the Warlocks weren't done yet. A blast of dark magic erupted from the far end of the chamber, knocking them off their feet. The Warlock leader, the one who had orchestrated the ritual, stood tall despite the collapsing ruins, their cloak billowing with unnatural energy. "You think you've won?" they spat. "Fools, you have only delayed the inevitable." Reece forced himself up, his body trembling. "You lost," the Warlock sneered. "Did I?" With a flick of their wrist, the shadows twisted, lashing toward the group. Vincent pushed forward, slicing through the dark tendrils, but it wasn't enough. A second wave struck them, this time aimed directly at Elias. Elias's eyes widened. He barely had time to react before the shadows wrapped around him, dragging him backward toward the Warlocks. "No!" Juniper lunged, but it was too late. The Warlock's magic flared, and Elias was gone, swallowed into the darkness. A deafening silence followed. Then Reece let out a roar that shook the crumbling tower. Juniper collapsed against the stone, her eyes wide in disbelief. No, he can't be gone." Vincent stood frozen, his jaw tight. They took him. Reece's entire body trembled with rage, but there was no time to grieve. The Warlocks were still there, and the magic binding the tower was unraveling. If they didn't escape now, none of them would make it out. "We'll get him back," Reece growled, forcing himself to move. "But we have to get out first." Juniper hesitated, her hands clenched into fists. Then she nodded sharply. "Lead the way." The ground beneath them cracked, chunks of stone falling into an endless void. The Warlocks were retreating, their leader disappearing into the swirling shadows, taking Elias with them. They had won a battle, but the war was far from over. The group ran through the collapsing corridors, dodging falling debris and unstable magic surges. The tower was imploding, the energy fueling it, spiraling out of control. Vincent slashed through a crumbling doorway, clearing a path. "Move! We don't have much time." Reece forced himself forward, pushing through the pain, through the unbearable silence where his bond with Trinity had once been. One step at a time, one breath at a time. They burst through the final archway just as the tower gave its final shudder. Then it collapsed entirely. The Warlocks had vanished, but the damage had been done. Elias was gone, and Trinity was still lost. The survivors sat in silence by the fire that night, their wounds still fresh, their spirits heavier than ever. Juniper stared at the flames, her hands curled around her knees. "Elias should be here." Vincent poked at the fire with his blade. "He wouldn't want us to stop." Reece said nothing. His mind was elsewhere, trapped between the past and the unbearable weight of the present. Elias had been taken. Trinity was beyond his reach, but he wasn't done. Slowly, he lifted his gaze. "We find them." His voice was rough but steady. "Both of them. We bring them back." Juniper wiped at her face, nodding. "And if the Warlocks think we're done coming for them, they're dead wrong." Vincent smirked darkly. "Then let's remind them who they're dealing with." The night stretched on, the fire burning low. They weren't broken, not yet. And the Warlocks were about to learn that they had taken the wrong people. The stronghold crumbled, leaving Reece, Juniper, and Vincent scarred. Elias was captured, Trinity lost, her bond to Reece severed. The Warlocks, craving their shared power, aimed for an inevitable future. What was their power? What was their goal? Was Trinity alive or a vessel? Who was the masked figure? Can Reece find Trinity again after breaking their bond?
I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha,